What is happening? Hey everybody, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and you are watching the podcast. Excuse me. Let me do that over again. The Popcast Unleashed. I have not slept in a very long time, so it's going to be a great show.
Oh, we apologize for the wait, 30-minute wait. A lot of you guys were here. We're sorry about that. We had this weird situation that never happens. We typically don't release videos on the Popcast Prime channel on Thursdays, but in this case, we have such a crazy, amazing week of things happening with so many different IPs that we had to get a video out, and therefore it pushed us because we can't do two at the exact same time. So, or something like that.
Yeah, after the stream, go check it out. It is about Stargate. I'm sure
it is a Stargate video.
It's a Stargate video.
Interested in that?
My favorite kind.
Right?
Okay. So just to let you guys know what we're talking about today. We are talking about, of course, Strange New Worlds, Episode 3. We have a lot to say about that. We are also going to be discussing the Orville coming up in 14 days. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, Amber Heard, and her she just absolutely got pooped out of that contract. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
And The Boys Season 3 and the absolute atrocious She-Hulk trailer. Like, what is happening? Can you believe that's a Disney production?
Yeah, even I realized that was bad. And that's scary.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Anyways, so what's going on with you, Shane?
Well, I just want to say hello to everybody out there. We were having a fun little contest while we waited over in the chat. Yeah, that was me, guys. So I was talking about my favorite number. Say hello to Doomed Huh, Chris, Kenneth, Question of Trek, Jeremy Schneider, PJO. And we've got John here, Serge. Serge, don't go to another podcast. Stay with us, buddy.
Come on, Serge.
And Dork Knight, of course. Archmage Frey, all the wonderful folks always here. And so my favorite number is 13, of course, because of Dan Marino. And it's funny because Jeremy showed up like right before I gave the number, like right as I was giving out the number. And he's been with us for a really long time. So he knows exactly what my favorite number is. So we'll be getting T-shirts out to those two guys. We're going to give out to Jer. He already knew. And we're going to give out to Dork Knight because he didn't know and he was the closest guest. So
yeah,
glad to have you guys here this week.
Sorry, Shane. Good news is it looks like pretty soon we'll be able to gift memberships. So we should be having giveaways for the memberships too.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
have we figured out how to do it yet?
So I mean, yes, but it hasn't been activated for us yet. But they did say that it would be activated for everyone in the next week or so. So hopefully by next week.
Okay, so there you go. We'll do some contests where we're giving away. Because, I mean, everybody's like, yeah, you know, this whole giveaway thing is hilarious to me. Can I talk about this for a second? It's hilarious. So I decided, you know, look, we're close, guys. On our other channel, on our main channel, we're close to hitting 100,000 subscribers. And, of course, that's like the giant benchmark for any YouTube channel. It's like the first, you know, real goal because you're going to get the silver play button. And it's once you get over 100,000, you kind of get a little more perks and you're taken a little more seriously as a YouTuber, I think.
Here's the deal, boys.
Why can't we get a new Will? So I thought this would be great, Brian. Here's what we're going to do. Let's have a contest. Let's have a contest to see what day we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers. And so I went out to Twitter and I put together this pretty big tweet. And I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You pick the day you think. And I even gave a hint. You know, we hit 90,000 subscribers March 25th, and now we're at 96.4, I think. So that kind of gave people, you know, the ability to guess. And then I said, hey, we're going to give away a $50 gift card to Mixed Teas if you win. And you don't have to just pick the day. You can be within 48 hours. So if you pick the 10th, you can win from the 8th through the 12th, right?
Right.
You know how many people gave us a date on that post?
2 people.
0.
Oh, 0.
Nobody did.
Yeah, see, because I'll tell you why, bro.
It's free stuff, guys.
Because we run everything.
Because Twitter sucks, bro.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, you got to put it in the community section on the YouTube.
Well, we can still do that. And in fact, we're probably going to do something here. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do it here too. because I think it's a great thing, and we can have really as many winners as possible. It's not one winner. Okay, so we did give away a free shirt right now, but we're going to give away $50 gift card to Mixed Tees, anything on the site you want, up to $50. And here's what you got to do. Okay, in this video, don't do it in the live chat. Do it in the actual comment section below in the video. Give us the date you think we'll hit 100,000 subscribers, knowing that on March 25th we hit 90,000. 95. Wait. Yes,
Shannon, I don't want to cut you off, but it's instead of doing it in the chat, I think they gotta look for a community post because that's permanent. The chat goes away.
No, it doesn't. No. The actual comment section of this thing, not the chat.
Comment section. Oh, okay.
In the comment section of this video, because I can check the date, so I know you didn't come in like a day before or 2 days before.
Right.
So check the date. Put your date in there. You get 48 hours. Okay. So let's say you pick June 10th. I'm not saying you should pick that day, but June 10th, because we have no idea either. If you pick June 10th, then you win if it happens from June 8th to June 12th. And we can have as many winners as possible. Totally good with that. And I thank you, Mixed Tees, for making that happen.
Jeremy said, remember them when there were 47 members at the main channel? My girlfriend remembers the show. You broke 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a good day.
Well, that was such a great day. Remember how excited we were when we
so
broke 1,000?
Yeah.
That's how long Jerry's been with us.
Jeremy. All right. So, before we get into anything substantial, you want to talk about some of my favorite beverage enhancement product?
I like that. So is there nothing else new? What's new with you? Like, we didn't do anything new with you.
Because there's nothing new. I've been editing literally all week, bro.
That's right. We're doing 3 videos for the first time ever.
Here's what's new with me, right? I haven't left this room in 3 days. My wife keeps checking on me to make sure I'm still alive.
Is she pushing food under the door?
Oh man. Oh yeah, it's been rough, but it's gonna be a great week on the channel, so that's worth it. So you want to talk about? Yes. I'm serious. I got nothing going on. Sorry.
Okay, I understand. We're not. I'm not going to pressure you to talk about, stuff. Never mind. I'm not even go there, guys.
So I went to a bathhouse the other day. It was very interesting.
No, so I wasn't going to go there.
Hold up. I didn't go there for me. I went there because Shane accidentally dropped a pin, and that's where he was.
Oh, I see. This is where we're going with this. All right. Oh, don't worry. We can do this all day long. I got wonderful things to say about you too. But first, let's talk about our wonderful sponsor for today's video. That is a new one.
Okay. Yeah.
You have control of this. It's not right. I'm telling you right now.
I can give you a stream deck too.
Oh, everybody would be terrified. To be a bunch of Dan Marino quotes.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, go ahead.
So I want to thank today's sponsor, Liquid IV. If you guys haven't tried it yet, there's a link in the description below. Guys, I got to tell you, this stuff right here, if you're drinking other types of sports drinks, I won't mention their names right now. This stuff is better for you. It hydrates you better. It has a lot of wonderful flavors. If you haven't checked out Liquid IV, you need to. It's absolutely fantastic. I just put a little bit here in my cup. So I got it for the show. When you do a 5-hour show, man, you got to be hydrated because, let me
ask you a question. What if I exclusively drink Russian energy drinks called Boomerang? Would that be safe to mix with?
What? Wait, can you repeat that again? What did you say?
What if I only drank Russian energy drinks from the Cold War called Boomerangs?
Yeah, I don't think that would be good. Okay. Instead, drink Liquid IV and get 25% off. Let me tell you guys something. This stuff's expensive. I mean, sorry, Liquid IV. It's kind of expensive.
It's a little pricey.
So get 25% off and get it at our link.
Yeah, I have 2 bags of it, and I got to say.
Well, it's strong. It's good.
I got to say, I actually do really, really love the strawberry, but I personally dislike the lemon. I feel like it's...
See, this is lemon lime. I love it. It tastes like...
I don't.
The other one, I'm not allowed to say the name of.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to like.
It's lemon lime.
It's really hard to like tell people what it tastes like when they're like, "Don't say these names," and all the names are the ones that.
Okay. I'll just tell you, it tastes like a little bit better than the other one with the same flavor profile. Like, you know which one I'm talking about. Starts with a G. I don't know.
Gremlin juice.
They're going to be like, You guys are cut off. You're terrible at this. No more.
We just got fired. Okay, man. All right. So, real quick, we before we get into the review, finally, for the first time since we introduced the segment, finally, and I'm so sorry I didn't get your animation. Shane has
Rant of the Week.
I think I'm supposed to say something now. Oh man.
You put it in the show
Before I do the
notes.
rant, can I just say something here?
If you say anything besides the rant, I have to run this thing again.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So Jeremy says, how well does liquid IV mix with an IPA?
Well,
you would know. Well, you wouldn't know, but
no, but I did mix it with bulletproof whiskey, and
okay.
It did make the whiskey taste better. And to be honest, bulletproof whiskey does not taste good.
Huh.
So I thought if I mix it with the whiskey, because I basically take a little glass of whiskey before I go to sleep, not every day, but every like 3 or 4 days, because I can't. It's hard to go to sleep. And
Glass
I hate
of whiskey before he goes to sleep.
I hate the taste. So I threw one of the strawberries in there, and it was basically strawberry flavored whiskey. I had to look it up. Like, is this okay to mix with alcohol? Okay, you ready?
Yeah, it's a little sweet. Okay, I'm ready now.
All right. No, okay. No, that's embarrassing.
Am I waiting?
Rant of the Week.
Rant of the Week. Yeah, I got a rant. My rant is this. It started from, I gotta be honest with you guys. I went to the gas station to fill up my gas tank, and every time I go, it just keeps climbing higher and higher, right? So it was in the low 5s, medium 5s. Now it's over 6. Every place I go, it's over $6 an hour. And don't tell me it's because Russia's at war with Ukraine, because we don't get our oil from Russia for the most part.
Right.
Okay, we have other resources. But let me tell you, my real rant, I wanted to rant about that, but the real rant is minimum wage increases. Okay, my real rant is people getting paid more money at the very bottom of the food chain. Because what have I noticed lately? I want everybody to get paid. I want everybody to get a whole bunch of money. But I went to Popeye's Chicken. I got a 10-piece, well, I think it was a 8-piece nugget, cost $12.
There's some guy in another country right now being like, "You get chicken there?
Get chicken everywhere. What are you talking about?
What
It
is
cost-
Popeyes?" Go ahead.
It cost $12. It cost $12. Let's put it this way. I went to fast food. It cost $12 for 8 nuggets. Okay. So right there. Now it gets worse. Okay. When you go through the drive-through at McDonald's, you know how all these drive-throughs, they made like 2 lanes so they could fit everybody through. You notice that?
Right. Yeah.
Every McDonald's in my area, 1 lane is blocked off.
I thought that was just for the really fat guys.
No, it's because they don't have enough employees.
Right.
So everybody else pushed the wage prices up. Everybody was making, between 12, the minimum wage folks were making between 12 and $15 an hour.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden COVID came through and they ended up, hey, we want more money. We demand more money. We have to get more money. So prices started going up $15, $18 an hour. Some of these places, some of these fast food places were paying people $18 an hour to have them come work.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happened? All the companies can't afford to pay that much money without there being some sort of a boomerang effect or a rubber band effect. So now they can't hire people, which means wait times are now longer. Food prices are now higher. I went to go get a haircut today, and my haircut place was closed. They have their normal hours up, but they had a little piece of paper up that said they're closed on Thursdays now. I went to another place. They're closed. Dude, you know what's happening? They had to pay these people more money to come to work. So what did they do? They started closing off days where they're not having hours, where they're not actually giving business now.
Right.
So now, there's less services for the customer. There's less time because they got to pay people more money, which means less time to be able to do it. This is not a good thing for our country. Everybody needs to make more money, but slowly. We can't just load up. Now what's happening? Amazon's laying people off. Robinhood's laying people off. All these different companies are laying people off now that they just hired in bulk. So what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. So this is the end of my rant. You ready?
Go ahead.
everything needs to happen with moderation. Okay. Otherwise, our services go down. We end up in a wage spiral, and then we end up paying a lot more for everything with inflation. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. What you're seeing is the seize up effect. So when you're like,
Okay.
let's say when you're cooking meat, right? If you just like flash it real quick and then take it out because it got to temp, the inside's not ready for that, and so now you got raw on the inside and char on the outside, and it's unhealthy. Anytime you do something so quickly without easing into it, you're gonna have an equal and opposite reaction. And the equal and opposite reaction that we are experiencing right now is pretty much a recession and crazy prices. And I gotta tell you, in a land of skunks, the man with no nose is king, because I bought a year's worth of haircuts a year ago,
Whoa.
right? And I went there and I redeemed my 1 month, my one haircut a month,
Yeah.
and I noticed that the new price for the exact same thing I get is like $33.
Yes.
I paid $10 a haircut.
Wow. I paid $30 for my haircut today.
I spent $120 for a year of haircuts on Christmas. I was actually going to give it to someone as a gift, and then I didn't because that guy pissed me off. So now I'm using it, and it's great. So one more thing about the gas thing, because I thought it was hilarious. The other day, I think it was like the press secretary or whatever, one of the news reporters was like, so can we talk about the gas prices? What's the plan with the gas prices? And she goes, we keep asking that plan. If it really affects people so much, they should get electric cars.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, bro. Oh my God. I'm like,
Give me a
did
break.
that just come out of that person's mouth?
It just shows how out of touch politicians are with
so out of touch, bro. Yeah, the guy that asked the question was like a real big hefty guy, and he had this little tiny mask on, and it was pulling his ears like this. He's like, like, this is what timeline is this, dude? All right.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, what's next. We are going to be talking about Strange New Worlds, but before we do, I need to tell you how it works, because we have a new system, and for a few weeks, I'm going to explain it. Basically, as we go through the episode in a linear fashion, we are going to apply an upvote or a downvote. At the end of the review, we will average out those two numbers, and that will be the official Popcast score. For reference, last week's episode got a +6, and I will be putting those scores on the thumbnails when it goes up. So, you ready, Shane?
I'm always ready for you, man. Anybody in the comments before we get started? Can you go through the comments really quick?
Okay, you go through the comments, and I'll.
No, you go through the comments real quick.
All right, fine. All right.
And I'm going to double check something.
I'm going to go ahead and take off the score. All right, what we got? Archmage says, I don't use Twitter. I'm sorry. It's okay, man. You don't have to be sorry. Twitter sucks. We use Twitter because everyone else uses Twitter. But I would like it if no one uses Twitter, and then we wouldn't have to use it either. It's a stupid platform. It tastes like redacted. Yeah, that's about right, dude. I think I answered your IPA question. Doom said, it's true. There's no good service anywhere. Every place has reduced hours. Yep. Every single place, dude. I haven't cut my hair in over a year. # winning.
Oh, the lady, when I was getting my haircut, she said I should get a mullet. And I got to tell you, after I almost did it, I almost got this because my hair was long in the back. I almost did the mullet so I could come to work and come on the show today.
Check this out, guys. So I started, once I got the haircut a month thing, I started experimenting with my hair. So I cut the sides. It's called a undercut or whatever, but I have not cut the top since last year. And look at how long it is, dude. It's
gotten really long. You kind of look like one of those sumo wrestlers sometimes, like when they're all tied up in the top.
Hold on. Yeah,
you can put chopsticks in your hair.
The other day, I was like making food or whatever, and my hair kicked in my face, and my wife grabs the back of my neck, and next thing you know, she's tying my hair up in a scrunchie.
Oh, you know it's getting real then.
No, Jeremy, I'm going for the Viking braids, bro. I'm gonna have the undercut with the Viking braids on top, just like your photo when you showed me. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna, in fact, yeah, I'm just gonna officially call this the Jeremy's haircut because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting the Jeremy haircut. Eventually, I feel like it has to be a little longer. It's gotta be like maybe down to my top lip for it to really work out. I think. I don't know.
All right, I think we're ready.
All right. Dark Knight. My oldest son rocked a mullet for about a year.
Dude, I had one in the 90s, but that was a normal thing then.
Oh, did you?
I did. I actually had a pretty strong mullet. I was playing football. It was a thing. It was like a Brian Bosworth thing back in the day. And then, Billy Ray Cyrus had one. So it was just like normal.
I don't know who any of those people are, but I'm glad you know. Hey, I gotta say, for a couple years, I was just bald. When I was in the military, I was
just kept it short.
I was just like you take clippers, no clip, and just zzz, because I didn't care about how I looked. I just wanted to get through the army. That was my only goal was to get through it and get out of it. Okay, guys, here we go. This is the review. It's real simple. The score system is about to happen, and here we go. Yeah. All right. And let me pull up the Chrome thing here. Oh, that's cool. I guess it's just gone. Okay. You ready, Shane?
I'm ready.
All right. So while I'm pulling this up, give me your first thoughts, brother.
Well, I got to tell you, The Ghosts of Illyria. I like the title, and it started out actually. I mean, overall, I really like the episode. I mean, we're 3 episodes in now, and I mean, we got a three-peat going on as far as I'm concerned of good Star Trek so far. So
okay.
Overall, I think the episode was really, really good. There was a lot of mystery. These Illyrians are apparently outcasts for genetic modification, which becomes this interesting theme, which I know we'll talk more about.
Right.
Now, for some reason, the civilization is nowhere to be found. They've just disappeared on this planet. And we have instant mystery, which is exactly what we like in our Freak of the Week Star Trek stories.
Yeah. I love the way it started, actually, because as of right now, you're right. We don't know where the Illyrians, whatever, went. And by the end, we do get a pretty good theory from Spock, which we'll touch on.
Right.
Now, so I gotta start off the episode by giving it an upvote. First off, the graphics are amazing, and the whole setup, and with the interesting planet where they're this advanced race that wanted to join the Federation, but they couldn't because they were genetically modified or just disappeared. Right there, that is as Star Trek as it gets from me. So instant upvote for me. I'm popping the upvote out. But I gotta warn you guys, there will be downvotes this episode. As much as I did like the episode, but there will be downvotes. Okay, so what we do, we get the crew's on the surface. They took a lot of people on the away mission this time because they gotta get everything and get out before an ion storm, overtakes them. And I found that really interesting because apparently the planet has ion storms frequently, like often. So they have these little short windows in which to gather data and get information. Sorry, I'm coughing. Well, so right here, this scene right here with the ensign or whatever it was that opened up the locker, and there's all these little beakers and all that.
Right.
The way they sort of hung out on that shot made me realize that, something bad was happening at that moment that we couldn't see.
Now, okay, so yeah, they've already beamed back up to the ship at this point.
No. So Una walks by and says, "Come on, ensign," or sorry, Pike, because Pike told them to beam out.
Oh, I see.
Because the storm's coming. But they hovered on this shot for a while of this ensign sort of just like messing with the bottles or whatever.
Which I'm not sure why, honestly, because as we'll come to find out, that really doesn't tie into anything, right?
It does. I think it was building tension.
Okay.
Now, okay, so interesting part. They can't beam out because are the ions in the ion sphere, ion storm? I don't know. The storm. And it was a very, really, really cool part where the Miles O'Brien character, what's his name? I forgot.
Oh, you mean we talked about this. You're not going to give me any zingers.
Yeah, I forgot his name. But
It's,
the transporter
yeah,
chief.
I'll give it to you right now.
So transporter chief is having a hard time locking on because of the storm. So he calls down to Hemmer. And here is another upvote. Right here. I'm going to upvote this moment because Hemmer says, first off, I love this guy's attitude. He's almost, it's almost like he knows he's good, but he's also like, you know, he's a cocky, but he's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to explain, but he's very chief engineer, you know?
Chief Kyle is that guy's name, by the way.
Chief Kyle. Thank you. Yeah.
Give me the upvote too with Hemmer here, please, because you know, and also just to point out, when Una gives the first officer's log, we had Uhura last week give the first officer's log. It was Pike the first week, Uhura, and now we've got the first number one. Una gives the thing, and if you notice, the person who gives the captain's log is the person the episode is going to be mostly about. So that's going to kick off things in the beginning to kind of give you that. But Hemmer, we do get this wonderful deep look into his character, and I absolutely loved him.
Yeah, Hemmer's great. I love his attitude.
Cocky.
Yeah, I love when he goes, you know, the chief. So he figures it out. He pulls systems from other systems or whatever, and they beam on the ship. And
let me give a thumbs up, or let me give one for this one too. You see what he does here? He actually, this is so wonderful. He actually he did a he did a transfer of power, like he rerouted the power, right?
Right.
This is the first time in Star Trek that I ever recall them actually showing the crew seeing the rerouting of power to give power to another system.
Yeah, good point. You want to upvote
blinks,
for that?
Yeah, I want to upvote for that. It blinks in the passageway. They momentarily pause, look up, and then they continue on their business because it's just something that happens all the time. But we've never really seen it. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, someone in the chat said that there was a particle of light in the turned over vial. That's why they hovered on that shot.
Oh,
I missed that. Nice
catch. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So I love this. The transporter chief goes, how did you do that? And he goes, I'm a genius. A really cool line.
That's how he rolls, right? But later on, they did something really, I won't clue you in now, but later on they do something really cool that balances that. So
yeah, well, they also make a major mistake with Hemmer later on, which we'll get into.
All
right, so Spock's now it's just Spock and Pike on the surface. He's going back to get Spock. Spock finds another journal or whatever. He's, you know, that they haven't read yet because they're trying to figure out what happened to people. Blah blah blah. So, boom. It's too late. They can't pull the same trick twice. The captain and Spock have to stay on the surface. Uh-oh.
I love this. Sorry to interrupt you. This is such classic Trek. It's always something with the beam up, you know, something that happens during this process. I love the classic Trek music they use when they're beaming up number one and her crew. Like they use the classic Trek. It's hard to, the TOS music. It was themed out to make the drama was really enhanced during that moment.
Right.
To give you that typical, if you watch TOS, you see it in almost every time they have like drama on the transporter pads. They did it perfectly here.
Yeah,
so another vote up for me, please.
Okay. Vote up for Shane. Dork Knight says, somebody, that's my mother, Brian. What? Who's your?
Oh, his mom's here.
Oh, was that the person that said the particle of light? Oh, okay, cool.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Very cool. Thank you for that. All right. So they can't beam out. They can't get them. They got to stay on the planet. Bummerooski, right?
Would you Bummerooski?
Bummerooski. So they got to go and they got to get, they got to find shelter so they can wait out the storm. All right. Now we got this shot of Una. She's coming down. She tells everything, Spock and Pike are gonna be on the surface, blah blah blah. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, here's the good stuff. Ortega's walking through the hall and she sees this dude half naked, like zoning out on the light panel. And she asks him, "Hey man, you okay? What's going on with you, bud?" Oh my god, I went the wrong way. My bad, guys. What's going on with you, bud? And he gets real freaky with that light panel. Then he breaks it, and so she grabs him, takes him to sick bay. Now here is the money shot, because Una is starting to have the similar symptoms, but she starts glowing red, and she's cured.
Oh, you can't say that now. We don't know that yet. That's not fair.
Or she's no
We don't
longer,
know that at
she's
this
no
point.
longer experiencing the symptoms.
Okay, let's just say at this point, while I'm watching it, I'm going, oh my gosh, she's got it. Whatever, this alien advanced thing is inside of her and it's going to control her any second, just like classic Trek would do. But yeah, you do find out later she's not. So.
Okay.
Right? Didn't you have that moment?
No.
Oh, so at that moment you said, okay, cool, she's cured.
Well, she went from like zoning out on the light to not zoning out on the light. I thought that was some kind of like her body rejecting it or whatever.
Okay, so you did feel that it was being rejected.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're more advanced than I am.
All right. Well, so they go to sick bay. It looks like the entire landing party is suffering from this weird. What's up?
I got a downvote.
All right. What's the downvote?
Dr. Mbenga. I can't understand what he's saying. I had to turn on subtitles.
Oh, really?
I cannot understand what he's saying. I love the guy. I like the actor, but something in either his dialect of his pitch or something that's happening that's making it so I can't understand his words. I had to turn on the subtitles. I don't mind having subtitles on, but I thought it would be a downvote. I need to be able to clearly understand what the actor's saying.
That's fair. Yeah, there's actually gonna be a downvote for me in a few more scenes because of I don't think it's his fault actually, but I think he's being underused. But we'll get to that. All right, so there's a weird disease. And they love the light and they're addicted to light, and the crew has come down with it.
Oh, we gotta point out this thing here. I think this is actually a really good thing. Question of Trek brought it up, and it was Una ripping up her shirt made him feel all emoji face drooly.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, when that started to happen, I kind of went, what's happening? What's about to happen right now? Look at you rip her shirt off, right?
Okay. Yeah, go.
I'm like, this is all different Star Trek here.
Yeah.
So that was great. Good Trek moment.
Good Trek moment. All right. Yeah. So they're trying to figure it out. So this is interesting. I like this. I like this part. I'm actually going to give it an info because Una goes to Hemmer and they're trying to figure out what the problem is. And I got to say, I totally feel Hemmer here because I have been in this situation countless times where someone is asking me how to fix a problem that doesn't exist. And then they start running down the ways it could be. And I'm trying to explain, no, that's not how it works. No, it's perfect. It works perfectly. It's not my problem. I can't fix this problem. There's no problem to fix. And I've been there. Hemmer. I get it.
You just turned Hemmer into a Geek Squad employee, basically.
Bro.
Who's at some guy's house, who's got dumb questions, and you're being condescending to that person because of whatever reason. Right?
Now, to be fair, the good part about this was it wasn't like Una was just asking random questions. He might be the guy, the professional there, but her questioning and her talking things out actually gets him to look at the transporters in sickbay later on. And it reminded me of you and I actually had a moment like this a few weeks ago. We were working on our day job. There's a product that has to be created, chemically, right? And in our relationship, I'm the chemist. So we create the product and it's fine. For a very long time, this product has been perfect. But for some reason, it wasn't outputting the same quality of merchandise. There was problems with it. And we couldn't figure out what it was. And I kept telling Shane, listen, man, it's definitely not the product. It's perfect. I've tested 87 times. It's perfect. And he would be like, well, what about this one? Well, no, it works. But he said something. I remember he said something. He's like, well, man, it must be something to do with the volume. And I don't even know if he was talking specifically about the volume of product, but when he said that, I immediately figured out what it was. And it wasn't the product, but it was the environment in which the product was sitting and how it was being used. And we figured out the problem, but I wouldn't have figured out that problem had Shane not been questioning me about the product in the first place. So, there's something to be said for talking things through. Even if you already in your head already know something's perfect or it works great, whatever, talking it through, because her line of questioning gets him to sickbay.
Awesome. I'd like to also give an upvote here. I think you got a great point there. I want to give an upvote here because I love the mystery and intrigue that they're bringing to this episode, without distracting us or pulling us out, by the writers forcing some sort of message or narrative.
Right.
Watching Discovery and Picard, I always felt like we're getting going pretty good, and then we get sidelined by some sort of dialogue that takes us out of the story.
Right.
And they keep us really embedded into this. I mean, I could not take my eyes away. And I also want to give another upvote because I felt like when Una took over as the captain, she becomes the acting captain, they did a good job of really showing us how she is now in charge and she's giving directions to the bridge crew. She's actually, you could just feel that she naturally took over that captain's role responsibilities, which frankly speaking, hasn't been done for a long time. That was never done in Discovery. And I think that's critical to understanding, for the ship understanding what the chain of command is and who is actually in charge at that moment.
Right.
And she does an excellent job it's just really nice. It's small little comments, little things that just really make everything really nice. So another one for me there.
It's hard for Discovery to do that when they arbitrarily make people first officer. Like,
yes, that's
Tilly,
true.
you have been my friend for a long time, and I trust you.
You're now the first officer.
Would you like to be first officer? I know you're a cadet, but I would like you to be first officer.
She's an ensign, to be fair. She's an ensign.
Whatever. No, but she started off as a cadet.
Okay.
Yeah, in season 1, she was a cadet. I would like the ensign, and I'll be first officer. And I can just imagine the bridge crew like, yo, what?
But they didn't say anything, so it's all good.
No, but they should have. All right. So Liana starts feeling the pain too. They take her to sickbay. Now we're back at it. They're trying to figure it out.
Oh, so what we learn is that it's a severe drop in vitamin D.
Right.
So and of course that's tied to light. So
right. And the way they figured out that it's that the light is how it transfers. I'm just going to skip to this because. All right. Well, let's just talk about this real quick. Basically, what they're talking about here is they're talking about the previous inhabitants of the planet and how they wanted so badly to be part of the Federation that they were trying to reverse the modifications of their genome so that they can qualify to apply for membership to the Federation. Which I find
that's pretty intense.
What? I gotta give it down vote.
Okay.
Because I understand that the Federation has a ban on genetically enhanced things because people and all that because the eugenic wars. However, is that ban retroactive? Like if a planet at any moment use genetic altering for their species, they just can't join the Federation? How does that make sense?
Well, I don't think in this time frame we really know, do we?
I don't know, but I gotta say, there's species in the future that the Klingons that use genetic altering to the point where their entire species would look different for a generation. And
but that's
and we were simping trying to get them to join the Federation.
I mean, that's 100 years from now.
I see. So maybe something changes.
Yeah, they're working in a time frame where we don't really know the rules. They've brought listen, Star Trek is really doubling down on this genetic engineering thing with the eugenics wars. It's mentioned in this, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it here in a second. But the interesting thing about these Illyrians is this isn't the first time that we've seen them. Believe it or not, they were in an episode of Star Trek Enterprise, Damage. And it was an episode. It's a really interesting episode because they're actually a species who was also damaged along with the Enterprise. And Archer decides he's going to basically come out of character, and he steals their warp coil and like boards their ship, steals their stuff, and now they're like stranded for like the next 3 years, so that he can go and try to get a hold of that bomb that's gonna kill people on Earth.
Oh, that's gangster, Archer.
So that species, the Illyrian, this is the only other time in Star Trek we've had it, and so I want to upvote this because Strange New Worlds went into this and said, okay, we're going to go find a species that we've seen before, but we don't know anything about. And we're going to bring them into Strange New Worlds. And this is a great opportunity to do this because we don't know anything about these people. All we know is that the Federation took, basically space pirated them and left them to die out in the middle of nowhere.
I like the idea of the Illyrians. And I like the idea that there's like obviously not very many of them left. Okay.
Right. Well, at least that one. So, and also, can I get one more vote here, please?
Yeah.
Because they did show us, they showed us a graphic of a level 5 diagnostic scan on Hemmer's screen. And we've never seen that before. It's never been graphically done. But if you freeze it when he's talking to the first officer, it actually shows the whole level 5 diagnostic happening.
Oh, that's cool.
And I thought that was really awesome.
I don't know if it's worthy of an upvote, but that's cool.
Listen, I think it's worthy. It's something that I've always been curious about seeing, and I got to see it.
It's your upvote. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay, Uhura wakes up. There's a lot of commotion in her cabin. And I gotta be honest, I gotta go back here. I'm giving an upvote for this because we have never seen the cadet cabins.
Oh, okay. So wait, you just gave me a hard time about the level 5 diagnostic. Now you're giving an upvote because we've never seen this?
This is way cooler, dude. First off, I've wondered my entire life, does everyone on the Enterprise get their own sweet cabin?
Well, actually, that's true. Yeah, we only ever see the senior officers, really.
Right. We never see, and the answer to that question would be like, well, we got to assume maybe, because there's not enough room for every member to have their own cabin. So
That's
now we
true.
see the cadets, and they got these little like, almost like submarine bunks or whatever.
Well, and this is even cooler. I mean, like in the real Navy, the way it works is like the senior officers get their own stateroom, and then junior officers usually are 2 to 3 to a room, right? And then all of the enlisted folks have to sleep in giant 60-man berthing, basically, or women.
Right. Yeah, but this is really cool. So they have their own little beds and their own little lockers. So this guy's locker's on top, this guy's locker's on bottom. They can close them, and they have a little common area. It's very cool. It's
Just like an aircraft carrier.
Super efficient design. I gotta be honest. I wish I would have seen this when my kids were born. I would have made their entire room this way.
Gortonite makes a good point here. You do see that in lower decks.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so I gotta give a little downvote here. Actually, we'll get to that point. So at this moment, it's very odd. Hemmer is investigating M'Benga's transporter. And M'Benga is clearly upset about it for some reason.
Well, so I believed he had I thought he was like sick at this point. When he started acting weird like this, my thought was, oh, well, the light got to him too, or whatever the heck's going on.
Yeah, and he also had this weird moment where he turned the lights back on. Like undercover.
Right.
I don't know.
Which made me think, well, he must have already had it. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, he was obviously nervous about the transporter, which we'll find out about. But maybe he already was starting to feel the effects of the light.
Oh, and that's why he was on edge.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so this is when, by the way, and we don't learn this now, but at this moment, Hemmer figures out what happened, pretty much. That the transporters weren't upgrades, the pattern filter, whatever, blah blah. All right.
But he doesn't know what's going on there.
No, then Ben goes, "Man, get out of here, bro! Get out of here! Hey, get on out of here!" Yeah, they turn the light back on. Blah blah blah. Okay, now here we go. We're coming to a really good part here. So these Phoenix creatures are in the ion storm. They're like fire dragons or something, and they're flying around. And of course, the very first thought for Pike and Spock is they're clearly dangerous. We need to shut the door and not let them in.
Yeah,
which makes sense. So they shut the door, and those things are now banging on the door. They want to get in, right?
Right.
And they're talking about it, blah blah. And we're gonna come back to that moment. But it's a really good moment because at that moment they are deathly afraid of these fire dragon thingies, and they're banging on their they're like, "Let me in!" They're banging on the door like they're gonna knock that door down, right?
Okay.
On the ship, they figure out the light's the problem, so they dim the lights, and they put the ship on lockdown. And here is my downvote.
Okay.
I feel like this was a perfect moment for the blind engineer to shine.
Okay. Why?
He's trying to fix the problem. He's blind. They gotta turn the lights out. Hello?
Okay.
He doesn't require the light. They could have shown some really cool moments with Hemmer. Being able to operate completely autonomously, even though no one else can see properly.
I mean, I think they already show. I mean, Hemmer is already basically a character that is playing above his talent level. I mean, I don't know how much more he needed to have his ego stroked in this episode. I mean, he's already, you know what I'm saying? Like he's already blind and doing stuff in the dark. So why do we need to see him do more things in the dark?
They made a point of saying we got to turn the lights out and lock down.
Right.
There was this moment where Hemmer looks at his crew or he gestures to him and goes, just like that. And they all just scatter like they know exactly what they want, which is cool. The lights should have gone out right there. And they should have had a panning, a camera panning on the lightly lit up eyes of Hemmer as he continued working in pitch black. That would have been sick. It would have been 4 or 5 seconds, and it would have just totally reassured the audience of what this guy's capable of.
All right. I mean, I didn't feel it was necessary, but if he would have added coolness to you, then that's cool.
Consider that, right? He snaps his fingers, he gestures, his crew all disperses because it's locked down. The lights turn out, and we see the
light. It wasn't pitch black though. I mean, it's like
it should have been. That engineer should have been pitch black at that moment.
You can't be,
he doesn't move.
You can't be pitch black across the entire ship.
There are still
just people who need to work.
Just engineering.
So why do they need to shut the lights out completely in engineering?
Because
so that we can have this great moment where he can use things in the dark.
The lights, and they want to turn the lights out.
But what I'm saying is they don't go, completely dark throughout the entire ship where there are no lights. I was trying to
save another downvote because it was also additionally it wasn't dark enough. It was too light in there.
All right, I don't know.
If the purpose of turning the lights down is to slow the spread, you can turn them down a lot more.
I don't know. I think that's like very. How do you determine when you're making a TV show how low the light should be or up or down? That's kind of not really something that's possible to direct. And I don't know. I feel like Hemmer is already like he's blind. Just because it's dark doesn't mean. I mean, I don't know. This is my opinion. That's so fair. You got yours. I got mine. The one thing I do want to say. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I do want to say about the level 5 lockdown is that it definitely reminded me of COVID. And they talked about contact tracing. And so, they were making this in the middle of all that.
Yeah. Like
this was being filmed and created at that time. And it totally reminded me of that. It's not an upvote or a downvote, but it definitely had that flavor of what was going on.
Right. All right. This is actually when they figured out about the lights, so I was a little ahead of myself, but regardless. All right, moving forward. All right, the contagion travels on light. And then this is how they explain how viruses work. And this virus is very unique because it works on light. Okay.
I really like that, by the way. The explanation,
right.
The science, the way they use terms that we could actually understand, how a cold replicates itself to get other people sick, but the light doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
and it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And she asked, would it be too intrusive to sedate them all? I wouldn't have asked that question. I would have been like, sedate all of them. That was like, that was 20. That was a little 2022 Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if it's a little bit. That's cool.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, let's just say real Navy. They're not just going to make this arbitrary thing to knock out everybody on the ship to do something without questioning it. So it's not that it's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is when we figure out that she, what she is. So apparently,
so I'm sorry. We missed the part. I must have skipped through the part where her and La'an talk about the eugenics war and La'an's angry.
Yeah. I glossed over it. It was when they're in the mess hall.
Okay. So that's a very interesting point, because up until now, we didn't know what La'an's connection with Khan is. It's the first time Khan's actually mentioned in the show.
Right.
And so what we learn is there's no hidden relationship between her and Khan, like a lot of us feared before Strange New Worlds thought. We're like, oh my God, she's connected to Khan. How could, Spock not know with La'an on board? So we had all these concerns. And we've learned in this episode that she's not directly connected to him and actually despises him to some level.
You know what? Good point. I'm going to give that an upvote. Because
I think that deserves an upvote too.
Yeah. You want an upvote too? All right.
Yeah, give it to me now. Yeah.
All right. That was great. And here we are. The Illyrian genetic data. We're figuring out that she is, we already knew she was special, but apparently she's actually from that planet, which is very cool.
That's huge, because up until now in Star Trek lore, number one was human as far as we were concerned. When you go back to the pilot episode of TOS,
The Cage.
It's a human woman.
Right.
And so the whole time you see it. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that the Illyrians in Enterprise had ridges on their forehead. So now we don't know if there's different features or whether or not they've genetically altered themselves over the last 100 years or so, 80 years, to change that they look more human. And did they do that so that they could join the Federation, or were they trying to emulate, humanoids from Earth?
Yeah, maybe because they say that they really want to join the Federation. I can see them, changing their maybe before they start trying to reverse the changes. Maybe they try to look more like us or whatever.
Yeah, and the fact that they're willing to go to that level to change and modify their genome to join the Federation really tells you a lot about where the Federation is right now and how important it is to the Alpha Quadrant.
Right.
Which is not something we really get a sense of in TOS is really how important the Federation is to what's going on.
Right. Okay. All right. So she comes in the transporter room, and Hemmer is clearly sick. He's freaking out. He's trying to transport a piece of the core of the planet into the ship.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, this is good.
This was good. I want to give another upvote here, because Hemmer up until this point can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. He's perfect in every way. He's cocky. He's self-confident. I love the character. But here we see that he still there's some fallibility to him. He was able to contract, even though he's blind, he was able to contract this light disease, right? And he's being shown in some sort of a negative light, which I wasn't sure they were going to do. And I got to give him a lot of credit, because this character kind of needed to be brought down a peg in order to feel some connection with him.
Right. I agree. And I think on that same note, they're also still showcasing his skill, because he is about to transport a piece of the core of the planet into the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. All right. She stuns him and then casually carries him or whatever.
Oh, that was awesome. I absolutely love that. It showed her genetic. That showed her. I mean, I'm not going to upvote this crazily, but it showed her genetic alteration.
Yeah, and when she gets to sickbay, Chapel even says, "How are you carrying him?"
Right. And what have we been saying about Star Trek? Show us, don't tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's a show.
All right, back on the planet, Pike and Spock are trying to figure out what to do about the crazy Phoenix Dragon fire things that are trying to get through the door. Like they really want to get in that door. Like they want to get in there.
I know you're building that up, and I got the antithesis, I think, of what you're going to say.
Right. Really want to get in there. In fact, they even said, "You think the Elorians knew how to stop these things?" Which is good. Little misdirection. I love it. Yeah, and they're he's reading. All right. So the door opens, the window breaks, the ion storm's coming in.
Wait. Before you do that, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
See, this is the funny thing about doing this review. It's hard sometimes because you go through it and you'll pass something I want to talk about before it gets there.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to come up with like a way to be like, point of note. When Pike is pointing his firearm, his phaser at the door, and Spock has the stuff he's reading. Spock says, I hope that thing, you can set it to stun or something like that, right? And Spock goes, I'm arming us with knowledge. And I just love that. I love that line. Such a Spock thing to say. Such a TOS, that would be a TOS Spock thing you would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So upvote me on
you
that.
want to upvote? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, come on. When we're doing good stuff, we got to talk good stuff.
All right. I'm not trying to hand out upvotes like they're candy. It's got to be something cool,
That wasn't cool that he did something.
That was cool, but it wasn't upvote cool,
All right.
Anyways, listen, they also mentioned that at this point, the radiation level outside is toxic to humans, right?
Yes.
Or fatal. And those things, they break in and they start surrounding them, and the window breaks. And
wait. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead and show it because I got to talk about that part.
Yeah.
So
Window
they grab
breaks.
him by the arm here.
Yeah.
Right. They get the thing grabs him by the arm. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Pulls his phaser to the side. I hear what seems to be like something shooting. So I want to give a downvote here. Okay. It's almost, to me, it sounded like a bullet shot. And then something ricocheted is what it sounded like to me. And then glass broke. Okay. Now we know it's a phaser. There's no bullets coming out of a phaser.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I thought it was like
I played it back 3 or 4 times to get it.
I thought it was like rocks outside hitting the window or something.
I understand, but it was confusing. Okay, because the weapon, it happened the moment the weapon turned towards the wall. I hear some sort of sound of ricochet, and I couldn't tell was something that happened in that interaction. Did that break the glass, or did something outside break the glass? Now we know something outside broke the glass.
Right.
We would find out, but it
broke inwards.
It was confusing at that moment to me.
Okay.
Like I wasn't sure what was exactly happening, and I felt like that was.
So you want a downvote?
I should. Yeah, that should have given it a downvote.
Right. No, this is really cool. They hit the floor. They start hugging it out like bros. They're like, "Oh, that's it, we're out." And the Phoenix Dragon things surround them. And I love this, and I'm giving it an upvote because like this is so Star Trek. Listen. The whole time, those things were misunderstood. They weren't trying to get in there to kill Captain Pike and Spock. They were trying to get in there to protect Captain Pike and Spock. They knew what was coming.
They were going to die if they didn't get in there to protect him.
Right, and they were locking the door, aiming their phasers. They were in there because their ignorance. That's what he said. I'm arming us with knowledge. Because their ignorance, they were fighting their saviors. Very cool. Right. That they're not just like random monsters of the week, but they were actually there to help, right?
Yeah. And then I guess later on we find out who they probably really are.
Right. Yeah. Spock does say later on that they probably contract the same disease. And this is really good, so I want to give this an upvote. But because they were reversing their genetic modification in order to join the Starfleet, they could no longer combat the light disease that was native to that planet.
Yeah.
So in their quest to join the Federation, they ended up all getting sick, and but not all of them died. Some of them chased the ions into the atmosphere, and their unique physiology apparently they were converted to whatever those things are. That's fascinating.
And I kind of got the feeling that something was going on like that it was some sort of beings up there. When you saw Una's, that fire burn through her,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, that looks awfully familiar.
Yeah, I just think it's very cool that they're there to figure out what happened to these Elorians, and they find out by the end of the episode that the Elorians, basically, I mean, literally killed themselves trying to please the Federation.
Yeah, that's basically what you find out. Yeah.
And it's a sad tale. But then additionally, those same creatures, now that they're basically this non-corporeal thing, still protect them inside. I just think that's very cool. Very, very Star Trek. Not every alien has to be a bad guy, guys.
That's a really good point. Stop when you get to the point where Mbenga gives his speech about bigotry.
Where is that? Here? When he's talking about
it's coming, I think. Or maybe it's now. I can't remember.
I think it's now when they're talking about the Elorians.
Okay, so yeah, they're talking about it now. So is this where she admits she's an Elorian?
Yeah, she tells them that she's Elorian and that can they use her blood to make a cure? And then she even says, I know there's a rule against mixing human with Elorian blood. And I like what Chapel says. She goes, I can care less.
Right.
I'm just trying to, they're doctors. The rules aren't important when their primary oath is to do no harm, right?
Right. Yeah. True.
So I do like that because that is exactly what something like Bones would have said, Phlox would have said,
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. Bones would have been like, it doesn't matter, just take care of them.
Right.
So here he's given the speech here. First off, I love the science. I love the explanations. I love him explaining why he can't use her blood. Like, come on. I mean, how Trek is that?
Right.
Right. They're answering our questions. They're staying in the science. It's doing really good. And then there's an interesting little turn, and I'm going to give a downvote here. The downvote is kind of the show us, don't tell us thing. And they start talking about how the Federation, somehow defeated bigotry, right? Or Earth defeated bigotry. And now here they are. They found another way to be bigots in space.
Well,
basically.
You know how they defeated bigotry? They all got electric cars. That's what it took.
That's the answer. That's it. Nice call.
You have to get electric cars that are powered by your farts, and bigotry will go bye-bye.
So I just thought that it really wasn't very fair to call it bigotry. And I'll tell you why. Because the reason why the Federation is fearful over genetics is because Khan almost took over everything being an augment. Right. Basically almost took over everything and conquered Earth, right?
Right.
And so the Federation isn't bigoted against people who genetically altered. They don't hate them. And we got to remember what bigotry is, right? Bigotry is hating something for simply because they exist.
Right, because they're different.
Right. And that's not what's happening here. They are fearful over genetic alterations, somebody being able to basically genetically alter themselves in such a way that that makes them more powerful and uncontrollable, I guess, to some degree.
Right.
And so I thought that use of the word bigotry was not appropriate or kind of correct in this situation. They're not being treated that way because of their race or because of who they are. They're being treated that way for the acts that they have committed. And I just think those are two different things. So that's why I got a downvote for me.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Yeah, I don't think it's bigotry because of who they are. I think they're just trying to be careful and not repeat history.
Yes, and which was the reasonable explanation. And I guess we'll talk about the end part of it.
Right. All right. Yeah. So it explains you can't use your antibodies because they're only active when they're healing you. Blah, blah, blah. Perhaps if there was a moment where you were infected and before you settled, which they pay off this. They pay off the way they could fix the crew.
Yeah.
But it would have to be that she was infected at the same time.
Well, and if he hadn't said that, then she wouldn't have known what to do next.
Right.
And this is more teamwork working together.
Right. I agree. All right. And he lays down. He's like, all right, man, listen, I'm going to take a nap because it ain't working out.
I'm out.
I found it interesting that he just sat down and took a nap.
Well, he told her because he's being overwhelmed by the disease.
Right. I went way too far back. My bad. All right.
Can we get to the chick fight?
Yeah, I'm trying to get there right now. I clearly hit the wrong button. All right, so Leon heard her talking about being a Lorian, and she. Now, why did she wake up and no one else?
Because I don't know, man. She's got that weird pain tolerance thing going on.
Right. Right.
So she woke up and heard what Una said, and got mad.
Right. I think that was actually a little bit of a clue there.
I think so.
I think she might be slightly augmented herself, even if it was just via birth.
Yeah, I think it's got to be that way, but she sure feels crazy about it, as we're about to learn here.
Right. Yeah, and so she's trying to detonate like the warp core, or take down the warp core containment field or whatever.
Warp core breach, baby.
Because she wants to feel the heat on her skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start fighting. Good chick fight. Love it. It was a good fight in general. It wasn't just because of their chicks. It was good.
Yeah, no, it was good. They were going at it. And what's interesting is, before you leave that part there, so basically, yeah, Una has this moment where they get a bunch of radiation, and her internal genetics try to basically cure it at that moment as she's getting the radiation. And so now she's able to cure herself and apparently La'an, and at the same time get a sample to be able to use. Or no, Chapel will later get a sample because it hasn't hardened yet or gone away.
Right. Which is cool. Which is super cool.
But she also tells her in that moment, remember, she said some pretty, basically that she lied to her all this time by not telling her. She La'an hates augments. She grew up being, bullied basically for being related to Khan,
right,
and the augments. And so she's always hated augments. And here it is this whole time, essentially Una's been an augment,
right,
and never told her, even though she understood the pain that she went through. So she was pretty hurt by this. I thought it was pretty good, deep character building.
Yeah, I feel like she shouldn't have been that mad. She should have been like, man, I get it though. You're not gonna just tell everyone you're an Lorian, make me feel better, considering you want to stay in Starfleet and it's against the rules.
Right.
I mean, but that's just me, I guess. All right. And so this is when they explain how they went through all this trouble to save them. And you see and Spock says, I see two possibilities. Either they didn't save the colonists because they had some kind of falling out with the colonists, or because they are the colonists. And he literally takes the only two options it could be, and the logical conclusion from there is they are the colonists.
Yeah, great line for Spock.
Yeah.
I got to give you, Anthony, I got to give Ethan Peck a lot of credit. I mean, Spock in this episode is Spock. I mean, we've been prepared to really address the whole emotional Spock thing. We've been talking about doing videos about it. But to be honest with you, I'm not even certain he's been unreasonably emotional in the first 3 episodes. And he seems to have been a really nice precursor up till now of the Spock that's to come, at least so far.
Right. I completely agree. He's, as someone who was his, very large critic of him in Discovery and in general, he's doing phenomenally this season so far. All right. Yeah. So they explain they want to join the Federation, so they tried to reverse their engineering, and that's what killed them. Boom, bing, bada, boom. Okay. And this is when they explain what Chapel did, because she's so good at her job. She replicates the cure based on the chimeric antibodies.
Yeah. Hey, Nurse Chapel, let somebody else say how good you are, okay?
Yeah.
We already have a Hemmer. We don't need another one.
I mean, she is very attractive, so.
So that makes it okay, as opposed to somebody else.
You know what? I'm giving her an upvote just for being hot right there.
You're giving her a cocky upvote. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and then she comes and talks to Leon. They're eating strawberries. You got anything to say about this scene? I'm not just gonna skip past it.
I mean, yeah, I just want to say that they really are close, because the way they talk to each other. I mean, this is, lieutenant to a commander, and she just basically puts it out there. Yeah, you want to, basically you want to know if it was the sickness talking or if it was me, and she's like both. So she still told her, how she felt, and
okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
More growth.
All right. We're gonna skip past this. We're gonna skip. All right. What do I think about this scene where she's like, "Listen, Captain, I've broken the rules. I'm gonna resign my commission." He's like, "Nah."
Very Starfleet. I love that. I love that she took ownership of it. She basically said, "You know what? I'm coming clean." It's just such a Starfleet thing to do. And Pike saying, "Nah," is another Starfleet thing to do.
It's a Starfleet captain thing to do for sure.
It's definitely something he would do. And he basically said, let me deal with Starfleet. And this does need to be addressed at some point later. It has to be an episode or something where we possibly maybe lose her because of this choice. So I hope we get that down the road, and I hope it pays off. But this is something that other Star Trek captains would do. Maybe not Picard, but all the other ones for sure.
You are right.
Maybe not
Accept
Janeway.
your resignation. Please see the closest airlock and just jettison yourself into space.
But I do have a downvote here. So I would definitely give this a downvote.
Okay.
Because you cannot have two major character Starfleet broken rules in one episode.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm actually going to give it a downvote too. Not for that reason, for a completely separate reason.
Okay. Well, let me finish mine and then you tell me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
So, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, we just saw literally the scene before. Una's basically like, "Hey, I've done bad things. I'm in Starfleet. I shouldn't have done it. I'm going to get in a whole lot of trouble." And then Pike says no. And then she comes down here and basically confronts M'Benga and says, "You've done bad things. When, by the way, endangering the ship. Holy cow." Right. I just feel like they should only give us one of these an episode. If you're going to do something against the Federation or breaking Starfleet regulations and rules, you should only do that once per episode.
Well, I think they're trying to show her that she paid that kindness forward.
Do it next episode. I don't need it right now. We haven't had enough time to deal with one. Now we've got to deal with two. I just felt that it wasn't appropriate.
That's fair. Now, my problem with this is that the reason they had the problem is because last time they were at dock, he wouldn't let them upgrade his transporter. So all the other transporters are upgraded, but his wasn't. So that's like you live in a house and your wife and your kids and your roommate, they have Windows 10, fully updated, fully protected. But your dumb brother-in-law keeps coming over with an old laptop running Windows XP, and it's just ridden with viruses, literally.
I love Windows XP though.
And because it's never been updated. So now why didn't he want to update it? This was the reason I upvoted, because his daughter, who is sick, and I feel him, I got a sick daughter too, is in the pattern buffer and he's trying to keep her alive. Totally get it. But when it shows later on that he frequently takes her out of the pattern buffer to read her bedtime stories or whatever, that don't make no sense. Right? Why don't you just take her out of the transporter, update them, and put her back?
Update what?
So when they were at the station last time, he wouldn't let them update the transporters because her pattern was in the buffer.
It probably was one of those things where they showed up and said, "Hey, we need to upgrade your blah blah blah," and he's like, no, because he would have had to show what he was doing, which was wrong and illegal, I guess. So maybe that was why he couldn't do it at that moment.
There's gotta be a way around.
Because that makes sense.
You're going for a refit. What they're gonna do.
I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. They didn't explain it. I'm willing to give him that pass. For that reason. I don't need the detailed explanation of how they replace something in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I feel like he could have taken her out of the pattern, and maybe when you show her out of the pattern, only show that last really good scene and don't show the scene before it, because it makes me believe that she's been out of the pattern for a long time, which makes me believe this didn't have to be an issue.
You're talking about when they're reading the bedtime story?
Yeah, so he takes her out of the pattern and he's reading her this book, like a real book.
Yeah.
And they shoot over to, I'll show you. Oh my god, I went the wrong way. They shoot over to Una, and she's like, so he rematerializes her and he starts reading this big blank book. And then they shoot over to Una, and she's doing a personal log, which she, by the way, she later on deletes. Very good,
which was good.
Very good detail there. And then they had this really cool transition. Ready? I mean, as an editor, this was a great transition. Just watch it. Look at this.
Oh, it was a good sweep. Yeah.
Clean transition, right?
Yeah, that was good.
And he's finishing that book. How long has it been sitting there for, man? Seemingly a long time, which means that he could have taken her out of the buffer during the refit.
But you don't know the situation, and so you have to assume that he was caught off guard or it wasn't planned, or you know what I'm saying?
But that also, so if that's the case, then that cheapens the character and makes it look like he can't think things
No,
through.
you don't know how a starship works. He's not, he's worried about medical stuff. He's not worried about, engineering types things. And when you're on a ship like that and people show up all the time. Hey, it's time to update your fire hydrants. And you're like, oh, shoot. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't
so you
would know.
Well, I'm just saying in that situation, he's not in charge of whether his stuff's getting upgraded. So if they showed up and I'm giving a plausible story, right? A reason. Now, if there was no plausible or decent reason why he could have, then yeah, you're right. He should have pulled her out and updated it. Now they don't have a story for episode 3, but
right.
Or whatever. But here's why I gave this an upvote. It was because it was a call out. This was a call out to Voyager with Scotty being in the pattern buffer for all that time.
You mean TNG?
Remember? No, it was Voyager when that found Scotty.
No, it wasn't.
Was it TNG?
It was TNG, yeah. It's my favorite episode, man.
Well, you're right. Duh, you're right. Okay.
That's
So
the
it was
episode where
TNG that
Scotty
found
tells Geordi how to deal with
That's right.
with leadership.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So anyways, the point is that this was a callback to that because keeping somebody in the pattern buffer is something that hasn't been done a whole lot. And I just thought it was a nice, way of showing that that's something that they could even do even before that other time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And
so did you give me my up?
You want up for that?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I think it's very cool that she's giving him a power cell. We'll probably see that paid off at some point in the future. Hopefully, if it's not paid off, then I'm not sure where they did it, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
All right. And
I got one more. At the end with Una.
Okay.
So I thought that even though M'Benga did the whole bigotry thing and that kind of messed things up, I think it fixed it here at the end with Una when she's giving her log.
Right.
Because basically the way Star Trek always did it was they showed things that were a problem on current times through aliens and alien interaction. And I thought they did a good job of using aliens and using her as an Illyrian to point out a problem, whether it's bigotry or something else, as opposed to just M'Benga speaking about it. So because she was an alien, it made more sense. They did the traditional Trek, let's do it through an alien civilization as opposed to, just saying it or pointing it out.
That's fair. That you're right. All right. And that's the end of the show. So, reviewing the score, Shane has a very optimistic 7. I have a very realistic 5.
Whoa, wait a second. I'm sorry. How is your 5 realistic when 0 would be neutral?
All right. So, I have a 5. Shane has a 7. The average is once again a 6.
Was it 6 last time?
It wasn't 6 last time, exactly.
Interesting. Well, this is a good sign because, I guess it would be cool if we knew how many times we upvoted and downvoted. But at the same time, we're not down to 0, guys. And if we were down around 0 or just maybe at 1 or -1, then we would know that this was not great Star Trek. And so far, it's been great Star Trek.
Let me tell you something. Stick around when Discovery comes out and we're reviewing it. We're going to see some negative numbers, bros.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I'm not even trying to speak it into existence or be negative. I'm telling you, The last 2 seasons, there was like between the entire season, there was maybe like 2 good things in an entire season of television. So
Well, maybe season 5 will be great. You know,
maybe it will.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe he won't hit me anymore.
Maybe season 5. You know. Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, you wanna check out the
Okay.
chat? Let's see what's in the chat.
Check the chat out, bro. Check the chat.
All right. Wow, there's all kinds of good things going on over here.
Yep. Let me check the members chat too. Good stuff. Yes, Kenneth, you're talking about the Dyson Sphere. Yes, sir. Favorite episode of TNG. Windows Vista. I think Windows Vista at this point might be even worse than Windows XP because, it's actually still a viable way of stealing people's information.
I hated Windows Vista. I couldn't stand it.
Kenneth LaRoque, alien blood not compatible with human blood? I mean, I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was that she didn't have the antibodies anymore.
Oh, what's funny is John Clark says here I had 15 upvotes. John, I missed one of the upvotes. I wanted to give Spock. We got to see Spock's green blood.
Okay. So you want to
And I wanted to give that.
So this is going to be a 6.5?
There you go, 6.5.
All right.
Because I wanted to give that upvote.
Retroactive 6.5.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, that's 0.5 better than last week. Right? Hey, when do we see the Gorn? Is it next week or the week after?
Next week is episode 4 is the Gorn.
Ooh, that's gonna be a make or break episode. That's gonna be like a score of 10 or a score of 3, and we're gonna be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be good because they're addressing a civilization that. Well, I mean, we don't know a lot about the Gorn. Only we got 1 episode.
Right, so. But my question is, what do they make them look like? Because that's gonna be. Honestly, either it's going to be really good or really bad. There is no in between for that.
Well, it's got to be better than the puppet or the suit.
No, we saw the Gorn in Enterprise. They were 3D.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah. Well, okay. Did you like the Gorn in Enterprise?
No, because it was 2001. Like you can't do much of that. I mean, it was.
Sorry. Did you like the Gorn in 2001?
It was better than Kirk, but it still wasn't great.
But did you like it in 2001?
It was okay.
Okay.
There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough of it. It was like
I got it.
It wasn't an entire episode. Like now we're gonna see like their culture and everything. You know what I mean? Like the way they operate. That's different. This is like seeing Klingons for the first time. Like what a big deal this is gonna be.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, here's a good point. Archmage Frey says, "Here's my biggest problem. We're only 3 episodes in, and we've already established all our main characters have dark or traumatic pasts." Okay. Let's see. If you go through it and look, we don't know Ortegas. We don't know. Chapel, we don't really have anything. Hemmer, we're not sure. Oh, you say it in the next line here. Hemmer, Ortegas, and Chapel. Well, here's the thing, Archmage. In my opinion, we all have things that, deep down bug us about something or else. I mean, I would like to believe there are just some people out there who have perfect lives, but there's things in our past that might bug us. And is the show trying to bring out some dramatic thing and have like the characters have a story arc as a result of it and see some growth? I'm not going to really fault them for that. I don't really see it as a problem.
Yeah. To be fair, like up until like a few years ago, I really enjoyed just kicking the crap out of kittens. Like when I saw a kicking, I would just bunt that thing like a football going for the 3-pointer. And,
okay.
I had to deal with that in my life because that's not cool. Now, instead, I only kick dogs. It's much easier.
You made no friends here. I mean, like, even if there are people who feel the same way you do, they still can't be your friends because it was so terrible. No, but it's true. I mean, if you've got something that you've dealt with, whether maybe you were bullied or, everybody's got something. Now, maybe you don't live with it every day right now, but when you're doing a TV show, I think you have that. Now, if you go back to TOS, kind of everybody, or even go back to any Star Trek, everybody had some sort of issue to some degree, right? Spock's dealing with his dad, right? He's got a terrible relationship with his dad. Kirk can't keep his pants buttoned. I guess I don't know if that's a problem or not.
Well, speaking of that, I was bullied incessantly as a child for having just a gigantic wiener. Couldn't get past it.
I'm just not sure why you just said that, but okay. Picard.
I had a friend that told me that once. He said he was bullied in high school because his penis was too big, and I was like, "Yeah, that didn't happen."
That's a Michael Scott from The Office thing. Like he doesn't have any real faults. They're just,
Yeah,
really good things
Remember
that shouldn't
Jason?
be.
That Jason told me that he was bullied in high
Oh,
school.
yes.
He said every one of his girlfriends ended up disliking him because his penis was too big. He said it with a straight face, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're joking or not. Like if you're joking, awesome troll. If you're not, then it's sort of pathetic.
Or totally weird and inappropriate. But yeah, so what the heck was I talking about? You got me totally off now on this whole thing. What were we talking about?
My bad, stud. We were talking about having issues.
Oh yeah, so issues. Yeah, so for example, Picard couldn't have a relationship. He had problems, with that whole thing. Tom from Voyager had a bad Starfleet past, right? So there's lots of things that people have. Now maybe having so many characters with issues is kind of a more current, newer Trek thing, but I don't feel like it's taking us out of the story.
Yeah, listen, guys, as long as the ship doesn't start asking for counseling, I think I'm gonna be okay here. And I hate to keep dragging that out, but like, it's what's going on in Discovery. It's like, when you watch an episode of Discovery, it's like someone is making an SNL version of Star Trek. Like it's an amplified, ridiculous version of Star Trek to the point where it feels like a parody of itself. And like, I remember watching that episode, and the first thing was when the artificial intelligence ship said she needed to talk to a therapist. The second that happened, I was like, oh, well, there's no coming back for this. Like, you know what I mean?
Over.
Like they're arguing about whether or not they should let the ship be in control of whether or not to blow herself up or not.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Can you believe? And they agree. She should be autonomous. Autonomous. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, delete her. You delete if she's suicidal and you live in the ship. Delete the program that's. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so Stamets had the only appropriate response, but then he ends up getting talked down too.
Yeah, Stamets was the only one there with half a brain. Everyone else was just like, what are you guys smoking right now? Are you kidding me? The ship cannot be in control of whether or not to self-delete.
Live or die. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dork Knight here says Shane had 11 upvotes and 4 downvotes, while Brian had 8 upvotes and 3 downvotes. So, hey, there's our total tally.
Yeah, I mean, it still came out to the same score, though.
Right,
so
but I mean, it's nice to know.
Oh,
like, what percentage of my upvotes to downvotes, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
so because I had 11 up and 4 down, that would give me, I don't know.
You clearly liked this episode more than I did, but I liked it. So,
well, see, here's the thing: is we don't know whether or not we liked it better. Here's our problem with our system. Mm-hmm. We don't have like certain things we upvote or downvote. So there's not like 12 opportunities to upvote or downvote, and then you and I pick which ones are up or down.
Oh, good point.
See, if we were doing that, then we would know.
Oh, okay, it's a good point. So this is what we do next week. When one of us brings up a point that we're going to either upvote or downvote, the other person has to choose whether to upvote or downvote that point.
I like it. Let's do that. That makes sense.
Because I would have downvoted like 3 of the things you said you upvoted.
Okay, and same with you. I think the thing you upvoted, I wanted to downvote, or vice versa.
Yeah. Okay. So every time we bring something up, the other person has to respond in kind.
Okay,
that'll make much more interesting score, I think, too.
I too, and we probably fight a lot more as well. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Okay. All right, it'll also be like a 4-hour stream where we're still we're still like halfway through it. We're fighting over like the color of a costume. We're like, no, that's not the way. All right, man. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about some Orville. Shane,
Yes.
I don't know if you put this in here just to like, get me excited for nothing or what, but tell me there's some substance here, please. Please, Shane.
There's tons of substance.
Well, what's the substance, bro?
You notice how I said it like that? There's tons of substance.
Tons of substance.
Yeah, there is an article there, but that's not really why it's there. Let's talk about the Orville. Okay. So guys, this channel, we really found our stride when we started covering the Orville. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
frankly speaking.
Yeah, that was
There was no Star Trek, right?
Yeah, there's no Star Trek. When we started doing Orville videos, is when we found like our style, our method, our sort of formula, and then we adapted that formula to Stargate and then Star Trek.
Yeah, basically, yeah. We were covering AGT.
We were covering America's
Got Talent, guys.
Oh my god, how pathetic is that?
We were carrying Survivor and America's Got Talent. That's where
Oh man,
some of you guys are still with us.
how far have those shows have fallen now too? Survivor is a train wreck. If we were covering Survivor, every single week would just be me ranting for an hour and a half at how ridiculous everything is. Because every scene, every interaction, every challenge, someone clearly has some blackmail. Oh, I'm not sure why I'm on screen. Someone has some blackmail goods on Jeff. What's his name? Jeff Probst. Someone emailed Jeff Probst like pictures of him at a bathhouse and said, "This is the way we're going to do Survivor now." And he's like, "Yes, sir, boss. No problem, boss." Because the entire show it's different. It's ridiculous. It's so insane. You guys want to talk about woke? Everyone always complains about Star Trek and stuff being woke, right? Oh my God. Go watch Survivor season 3 or whatever the Fiji in the first Fiji Islands and watch the latest Survivor 49.
See the difference? Yeah.
It's insane. Jeff Probst, he used to be able to tell people how it is. Like, hey man, you can't do that. Nope. Put it down. He was in charge.
Right.
He is not in charge anymore. Not at all. We have people literally stopping a challenge because Jeff Probst said, "Good job, man." He's like, whoa. Are you assuming my gender right now? I'm like, are you kidding right now? Are you stopping in the middle of a challenge to complain about a misuse of pronouns? That's insane. And like, he's like, "Yeah, you're right, man. I'm so sorry about that." You're like, "Jeff, what's going on, man? What's happening? Are you being blackmailed by Twitter? What's the deal?"
He doesn't want to be canceled, bro.
Oh man, I mean, dude, at this point though, you got 45 seasons. If I would rather go out, just go out on top and cancel the thing than continue to show up and have to like literally take orders from the 19-year-old kid complaining about pronouns. I wouldn't be able to do it.
So this is about the Orville.
Sorry, my bad.
Brian,
My bad.
listen, I know better than to bring up Survivor when Brian's around.
You can't bring up
better.
Survivor right now.
Better.
I'm still watching it because I'm a masochist.
And it's my fault because
Yeah,
he didn't even seen the show until
I've never seen the show. Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. She was like, "Yo, you gotta watch Survivor. It's great." I'm like, I'm not really into that. Next thing you know, I'm like, yo. I've watched every season. My favorite character is this. And then I was waiting on bated breath. And then last season popped up. And I'm watching it live. You guys, I have 13 streaming networks, and I still went out of my way to watch this stupid thing live. And it was like a 45 minutes of me just sitting there. I'm sorry. Me just sitting there fuming. I was seething with anger. Every single thing. Every time someone
show us
spoke.
seething again. Show us seething again.
It was because it's not that if people believe in the pronoun thing and all this like sensitivity stuff, fine, you do you. But they took Survivor, something that I had grown so incredibly fond of, and they twisted it into like this weird and not like slowly, not over a period of like 5 or 6 seasons. It went from like good season, next season, completely different. They even shortened how much time they spend on the island, Shane. It's now 21 days. They cut the time in half.
It saved them a lot of production money. Yeah, because it'll be over soon. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, and the ratings are garbage right now. Sorry.
We can clip this for a Survivor show. Put a Survivor clip out.
We should have.
Back to the Orville.
Yeah, you know why? You know why, atheists? Because no one's talking about this. Everyone's talking about how woke, STD is and all this stuff, but no one's talking about the fact that Survivor somehow went from 44 days to 21 days. They have this mandatory thing where they have to have like 13 genders? Seriously, like 13 genders on the show? It's crazy. First off, and then now the contestants are arguing with Jeff Probst in the middle of challenges about their pronouns. Oh my God, it's like a joke. Sorry.
Well, I'd just be like, well, you're running out of time. I would keep running. So
Yeah, that's what I would say.
your team's gonna lose.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you want me to call you, you just lost. So how's that feel? You feel good about yourself, Mr., Mrs., they, them? What do you want? What do you want me to say? All right.
Anyways, so back to the Orville.
Let's talk about some Orville. What's going on?
Okay, here's what's interesting. Okay, about the Orville. All right. So I saw this little thing. I want to talk Orville today, anyways, because we need to lay out our roadmap of what's to come.
The roadmap.
This channel was really born on the Orville. As you guys know, the Orville came out and nobody was talking about the Orville yet. Like the Orville came out and like nobody said nothing. And so Brian and I said, let's talk about this show because it's so great. Brian actually saw it first, as is usual, and told me about it. And we watched the first episode and said, all right, we got to cover this now. And so we were like one of the first channels to really start doing videos about the Orville.
Wait. Let me just interject here real quick. Because when I told Shane, you got to watch this show, he goes, yeah, I'm not interested in Family Guy in space. I'm good.
I did say that. Yes. I was not interested in, hey, listen, I like some Family Guy stuff, but Seth MacFarlane, at the time was kind of,
to be fair. Yeah. The 1,000 Ways to Die in the West was
there
not
was
great.
Some stuff.
Ted
was,
2
yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, I got.
I think it was even before Ted. I can't remember when Ted came out,
but I remember telling you that. I'm like, no, listen. Yes, do they have fart jokes? Yes. Do they have fat jokes? Yes. Do they talk about gay stuff? Sure. But underneath all that, it's science fiction, like true and through.
You did, and I watched it, and I got it. I got it right away, even though it was more. There was a lot of Family Guy to those first few episodes. So if you remember way back then and you saw the first couple seasons, and Danny pointed out here, Dork Knight, I think, or Atheist, somebody pointed out that it's been 3 years since we've seen New Orville. So Seth MacFarlane has come out and said that the Orville almost feels like a reset of the show. It's gotten better. I mean, they're all in on this. Not only are the sound effects, the graphics, not only is everything better for season 3, but the characters are deeper. They're no longer, stopped by the constraints of being on live television because they're on Hulu. Right. So the episodes are longer. They just, they're all in. And he's talking about the show as if you liked season 2, you're going to love season 3. And I feel that coming from him. And I believe it's more than just marketing. It's really going to be really good. I think we're going to get into the middle of the Orville season 3. And we're just going to look around and be like, how can they not continue making this show?
Right. I'm really hope so. I love how you said that in like your Popcast voice. You're like, if you like season 2, you're going to love season 3.
I didn't mean to do that.
You did it though. You did it in the Popcast voice. Hey, what you guys don't know is Shane doesn't actually talk like that all the time.
Oh, okay. Like, well, you mean like on the
during for the Prime videos, he really brings the gravitas.
I mean, right? It's me, but yeah, there's an element of
every once in a while I hear you do that voice though. You're like, and if you like that, you're gonna love this. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know what you're talking about, but I think I'm gonna love it.
Well, you should love it because the Orville is wonderful. So, but what are we going to do? So we're still here every Thursday at 2:00. You guys are here watching with us now. So as the Orville comes out, we're talking about, what do we say? How many days are we away now?
14.
14? We're 14 days away from the Orville premiere. We've got things planned. So we've already got set up. We're going to be doing an interview with Tom Constantino, the producer extraordinaire, the editor of the Orville. He's going to come out and he's going to talk about what's going on. I think we're going to have him for the first week or before the first week. So pre the Orville launch. And then we're working right now on hopefully getting John Cassar. If anybody out there knows who John Cassar is, he's the director for the first episode, and he's been with the Orville for both of the first 2 seasons. Wonderful guy.
He did Terra Nova too. He did that show Terra Nova, which I like a lot.
He did. He's done a lot of stuff. And John, if you're watching, reach back out. We're trying to get a hold of you so we can do this interview. So please respond to us on Twitter. Also, we've got Brandon Fayette who's the visual effects supervisor for the Orville. We're going to be doing an interview with him. We've reached out to BJ Tanner and to Kai Wenner, so we can have them on the show again. And we're reaching out to other people. So the goal is hopefully during the Orville's run, we'll have somebody each week that we can either ask questions to and get questions from you guys to ask them. And then we can kind of just enjoy season 3 and be really immersed in everything since we have such a good relationship with them.
Yeah, my goal is to get Seth MacFarlane somehow, even if I have to send unmarked packages to his home.
It's funny because
with
we've talked
podcast
about
gear,
this
with
before.
podcast gear,
Well, he did an exclusive interview with SFX. I think the problem is that YouTubers still have this stigma where a lot of the A-list actors don't want to interact because they feel like it's YouTube. So, but that's going to go away eventually at some point.
We just don't talk to him enough. We need to tweet him more often. I hate Twitter so much.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
But we'll see. I mean, who knows? It could happen. I mean, he might have a change of heart or want to come on or whatever.
Yeah, what's
And the dude's really busy. So we've got that going on. That's going to be happening every week. So just expect the live shows to get kind of crazy and to get interesting. We can't talk about it yet. It's not official, but there's a chance we may be attending something coming up for the Orville. And we'll let you guys know as soon as we know so we can give you more information about it. But it's exciting. I mean, it's coming, man. It's finally here after 3 years.
It's coming. It's coming.
Very, very exciting. So just stay tuned and we'll bring you everything that we know and we'll give you all the information, break down all the episodes, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and remember the show, the executive producer is Brandon Braga.
Yeah, I mean, he's Star Trek guy all the way.
Star Trek royalty. Hey, and if you haven't seen the trailer, I painstakingly created a 4K version of that trailer in 60 FPS on our PCU channel. Please go check it out.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks fantastic. All right, man. Let's moving on. I'm gonna hit this little subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, my friends, and you're watching either now or later on, please hit the subscribe button. And you know what? I was told recently that the likes don't matter as much as the shares. But please like it. But if you can only do one thing, if it's like, I can only like, or I can share, or I can hit the alert. I'm like, okay, if it's one of those things, you might as well share it because that's apparently the way YouTube is blessing people nowadays.
Yeah, makes sense.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Well, it does, because if you share it, that means somebody else sees it. So that means YouTube gets more views.
So it made yeah, you're right. That's the way it should have been like 8 years ago. Why is it changing?
Who knows?
Now?
Nobody knows how it is.
No one knows.
Does anybody really know? Only YouTube knows, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're right. All right, man. What's up next? We are talking about. Actually, I'm hitting record on this thing. We're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I really want to know because Shane is really into Obi-Wan Kenobi, guys. And while I do appreciate that character, and I love the way it's played by the masterful Ewan McGregor.
Nice, good job, dude.
I would like to actually practice that earlier. So
nice.
I would like to know if you want to see, content. You want to see videos, and you want to see coverage and reviews. Shane,
they're gonna say no.
Shane thinks you want to see him.
No. They're gonna say no.
Why?
Let me tell you why. They're gonna say no. They don't want to see nothing to do with Star Wars until the first episode of Kenobi comes out, and then it's gonna be like, bah.
Okay. So you know what? Let's table this question, and I'll ask after the first episode.
Don't tell us now, because if you don't want to see it, if you're like, I don't really care. Star Wars is yesterday's news.
Because so this is the first show I'm probably going to go out on my way to watch. But to be fair, The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, you had sort of convinced me to go watch it, and I didn't even finish the Book of Boba Fett.
You didn't, right? You didn't watch it.
I did finish Mandalorian though, which was cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's the cool thing. You don't need to watch those shows to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. All you really need to watch, and this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to watch episode 3. just before it comes out, I'm going to rewatch it. I'm not going to watch episodes 1 and 2. I don't need to see them again. I've seen them many times. But I am going to watch episode 3. And I'm going to pay very close attention to all of the relationships happening there in that episode, because it's going to immediately translate.
Oh, you're talking about the third movie.
Yeah. Star Wars 3, episode 3.
For some reason, I thought you were like, come on, you're going to watch episode 3 first? And I'm like, why would you do that?
Oh, of the Kenobi series.
Yeah,
sorry.
you're talking about the movies. My bad.
Yeah, so watch Star Wars. Yeah, and it's
Star Wars episode 3, whatever it's called.
episode 3, which is
Revenge of the something.
Is it Revenge of the Sith?
I think
No.
it might be.
Well, you got.
Oh my god, we have to.
Oh my god, I can't believe I just drew a blank. So, attack. You got the Attack of the Clones.
Is the first one, right?
The second one.
Second one.
The Phantom Menace is the first one. Attack of the Clones is the second one, and then the third one is. You're typing it up. It's cool.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. That was right.
Revenge of the Sith.
And I guessed. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh wow, you guessed. Okay. So, anyways, you need to watch that last movie because it takes place essentially after it, and not right after it. As you can see, Luke Skywalker is a baby at the end of the third movie, and we see him in the preview as being, well, I don't know, what is he, like 6 years old?
He's like a child.
Yeah.
So it's been like 6 or 7 years or something, right?
Right, but we're going to get to see the interaction with Uncle Owen. We're going to get to see the Grand Inquisitor. We're going to get, lightsaber battles with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan again. Just can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, I want to see some of the new Jedis. And here, this is what's going to sell me on this show. And I want to be very, very, very freaking clear. If they do not use the Star Wars soundtrack for this show, I'm going to be so upset, because so far they have not used the classic, epic, timeless Star Wars, soundtrack for anything. Like, what are you doing? And remember that scene of Luke walking through? Man, you pair that to the Jedi theme song, and it's like goosebumps. But without it, it's like, oh, it's cool. You got it. You have to have, like, imagine Avengers without the Avengers theme song.
I get you. Now, John Williams is involved. He's making the music for this. So I'm not sure why they're not. Is there some sort of reason why only the movies get the treatment? Maybe it'll happen here because we're talking about the main characters again, as opposed to side characters. The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, they're not really main characters in the Star Wars story.
Right, but
here you have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth
Luke
Vader.
saved them, they should have been playing Luke's theme song.
I guess so. I guess you're right.
I mean,
so there has to be that is a good question. If I get a chance to ask somebody, that's what I'm going to ask them. Why didn't they play the classic Luke music? When you saw
call John Favreau up on after the show and be like,
yeah, I'll just call him.
What happened? What happened?
You
had this epic scene.
Hey, it's happy. That's what he'll say.
Yeah, this epic scene, this perfect setup. All his laws. You start seeing this character with the X-wing. Oh man, and then you see that green lightsaber. How in the world did right then you don't hear? How do you not hear the music right then?
That's what we need to know. Maybe he couldn't play it. Maybe they're saving it for the movies. I heard that somewhere before.
Yeah,
you know what though? Go ahead.
I don't think there's gonna be new movies for a long time, because they're getting way more out of the TV shows than they are movies.
That's true. So one of the links that here you can see, this is an Obi-Wan Kenobi exclusive official featurette. It's pretty short, and it's actually pretty cool. I don't know if we can play it for everybody right now.
I mean, sure, why not?
It's an IGN thing, so.
Well, I think they just jacked it somewhere.
They jack it?
Yeah. So whenever you see like a web player and it's not like YouTube or Vimeo, that means that like they don't care about the copyright.
The first time I got to
well, I don't think there's a copyright here.
Pretty blown away.
Oh, okay. Then let's turn it up then.
Let's play. Yeah, it's only a couple minutes. Let's let everybody hear it.
Alec Guinness, as Obi-Wan Kenobi, did some of the most amazing work.
I can't hear it. Am I
to
supposed
play
to?
him as a younger
Oh,
man.
you can't
I
long
was
as everybody
really
else-
excited
hear it?
about
Everyone
it.
else can hear it. I'm sorry. I guess I forgot
The
to set
first
that
big
up.
experience for me was going to the studio where we shot episode 1. The props master brought up a big chest.
He does look really
He looked
good.
me in the eye and he opened
He
it up.
does, yeah.
Oh, those
And I got to
lightsabers
choose
are
Obi-Wan
sick.
Kenobi's lightsaber.
You got to pick
This is my
Obi-Wan.
favorite one.
That's so rad.
So that was a moment I'll never forget. The first lightsaber work we did was when we fight Darth Maul. That was an amazing thing to be part of. It was incredibly
Hey, losing
intricate.
Qui-Gon.
We were just going so fast. Action! It's quite unlike any other filmmaking I've done.
He
The
looks
first
so
time I got
good. He
dressed
does
up
look
as
so
Obi-Wan
good.
again,
Looks like
it was a
looks like
special
Obi.
moment. The wonder of Star Wars and the excitement of
The music's
playing Obi-Wan
really good.
Kenobi.
It's not
It's
Star
really quite
Wars.
something.
Yeah, it's similar though.
See, right there. Someone tell me. Oh, God. Right then, right there. When they finish it, it's like, ding. Why didn't it be like, ding, 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 you know, or whatever?
Oh, I mean, they have to when they show Darth Vader. They've got to, right?
I mean, I'm sorry, the Jedi one, but like right there, they ended it with, ring. They were like, ding. They should have finished it with that little melody right at the end, man. Like, button it, bro.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. Here's the deal. When we eventually do another Star Wars Prime video, which we will
Yeah.
eventually, I guarantee you'll hear the Star Wars music, and I don't even own it, and it's going to take me so much effort. It's going to take considerable effort on my part as the composer to remake something that sounds similar enough to where I feel it works, that won't get taken down by YouTube, but I will do it because that's the right way to do it.
Well, you know, the reason they brought John Williams in apparently is they wanted Obi-Wan to have his own composition, have his own music, theme song, and they wanted John to do it. John's old.
All right, so Darth Vader, when they show Darth Vader, I better
Have to.
hear the Imperial March at some point.
You have to.
Like, it's a waste of opportunity if you don't.
I mean, I wonder. Would it be funny if like George Lucas said, "Yeah, I'm not selling you the music." They told Disney, "You don't own the music. You can't use it."
They paid $4.5 billion, but it was an extra $1 billion for the music, so they didn't pony it up, which is why we never hear it anymore.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll use it. You can use it in the movies, but not for the TV shows."
Well, no, you
That'd
can
be
use
fun.
it in the movies that already exist, as long as you're using the existing characters. And new characters need their own music. Sorry, not you can't
Yeah,
use mine.
and only if you have Jar Jar Binks in every movie
Yeah.
going forward.
That's the rule. You can use all the music, but Jar Jar Binks got to be in the movie.
They're like, "Oh, forget about it."
You know though, Disney. If that was one of the rules, Disney would have found some way to make Jar Jar Binks cool enough to merchandise for sure.
I'm sure, absolutely.
There would have been-
if it hadn't been a total and complete failure. Yeah,
Yeah, there would have been Jar Jar Binks plushies, and which is arguably like it's a problematic character, right?
yes,
Okay.
100%.
All right. I'm not
Obi-Wan
playing one of
Kenobi. Oh, 8 days, bro.
these. 8 days. I know you're. What are you excited about more, Obi-Wan Kenobi or the Orville?
Oh, the Orville, 100%.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to see that story, but I've been waiting 3 years for the Orville.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
you know what though? To think about it, I've been waiting even longer for
You've
Kenobi.
been waiting longer for Kenobi, bro. Because Kenobi was your favorite character from the prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite character was Natalie Portman.
Oh, come on. Come
Can't
on.
get
What
it.
were you? You must have been, well, how old were you?
Old enough.
You must have been like 20.
Old enough. Guarantee it. You know who wasn't old enough?
Were you jealous when that little 6-year-old
Yeah,
was like getting the
yeah.
looks?
That's who wasn't old enough. Anakin was not old enough to be spitting game to a clearly like 18-year-old Natalie Portman.
Right.
That was I remember the first thing I thought watching that first movie. And remember, I was a huge Star Wars fan when the prequels came out. It's like I have the original videotapes. I have like multiple versions. Massive Star Wars fan. When the prequels came out, my first thought when seeing Anakin Skywalker and Natalie Portman was, how does that add up? How does that work? Like, is no one else concerned that the adult is going to date a child? Is that no one has a problem with this? What, like, reverse
Well,
those
it
roles.
happened.
What if it was Obi-Wan and a 7-year-old girl? That would be a problem, right? Oh, but it's fine when it's Natalie Portman and a 7-year-old boy. No one's complaining. Like, yo, bro, you got game.
Well, it's not like she jumped his bones or something there. I mean, she did wait until he was older.
Oh, yeah.
And then she even had to be convinced in the second movie.
But you know what that's called, right? That's called grooming.
Listen, the whole weird grooming thing going on.
I'm just saying.
I don't even understand
She
it.
was
What
an
does
adult.
that mean?
He was a
What
child.
does that mean?
She raised him. You know, she not raised him. She trained him to be her lover. That's wrong.
What? I'm sorry. I missed this training apparently.
Oh, and one more thing.
We just knew.
One more thing I had a major problem with. Mace Windu. I love Samuel Jackson. And I love that he was in the movies. And I love that he got a purple lightsaber. Oh, it's so cool. How in the world are you going to kill that character off so quickly? And at no point do we even hear like the hint of a mother. No.
I didn't want that. I wouldn't want that. That's not how it works.
We got it in
That's not
Avengers.
Star Wars. Huh?
We got it in Avengers, remember?
That's okay. It's different. It's present day. Star Wars isn't about cursing.
Okay, it's fine. But you know what? They killed him off way too fast.
I don't know. I was always kind of weirded out by it. I mean, I thought it was cool, but
Purple lightsaber was so awesome.
He had his time, and that's all we needed.
He got very little time, to be fair.
What else was he gonna do? Like
we need to see him actually like kicking butt with that sweet purple lightsaber.
I mean, he fought. He did fight with it,
and he fought like such a small, like very little amount. He went out really quickly. Like he's supposed to be like the Master Jedi, man. Like, although it was cool seeing Yoda like flip around and all that.
Oh, the Yoda was the best.
But I didn't like that he came in with a cane and then started flipping around. If it's a younger Yoda, he doesn't need the cane.
Maybe he still needs it.
All right.
But that was the throw off. Like I was okay with that because that was like you weren't expecting that because Yoda was already old. You got to remember, it was not a young. That was not a young Yoda.
Yeah, that's true. He did look cool, and you know what? He looked way better in Episode 3 than he looked in Episode 8, whatever it was called, Return, whatever that stupid movie was called.
Yeah, the later movies.
Yeah, dude, I remember looking at Yoda then, and thinking, "Oh, it's cool looking, cool graphics," and then seeing him again when Luke is burning his house down. He's like, looks like a mentally challenged puppet. I was like, oh, God, it's ruining my child. You know what? This deserves this. Ready?
These things are ruining my childhood. They're taking every.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yoda was super old, man.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly. Okay, man. What's next, bro?
Yeah. So just stay tuned for that, I guess. Oh, let's see. We got some comments over here.
Oh, Kenneth has something too. Let me get Kenneth first real quick.
Go ahead.
They killed him off in the last movie facing Palpatine and Anakin.
Yes. I mean, he's facing baddies, big baddies. It was okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Kenneth also says, how can I see the Orville without sailing the high seas? I will not get Disney Plus. Well, then you won't see the Orville, dude. You gotta either get Disney Plus or sail the high seas, or come back and watch the reviews because we're going to show a lot of it anyways. I mean,
That's true. Atheist for the Cause. How is a feature different from a featurette? Really great question. A featurette is a short feature.
Right.
Yeah.
So would that make me? Wait, how does that work?
A feature is longer than a featurette.
But isn't a feature like a movie?
A feature could be movie, yeah. Something that's longer in length.
So would you call our Popcast Prime videos featurettes?
No. I guess they would be. I mean, it depends on how short it is. Like, is it a documentary or like a mini doc? See, we wouldn't call it a featurette.
Yeah, we call it mini docs, but like, I don't even know if that's a real term.
I mean, a featurette is usually like a few minutes, pretty short,
Nice.
less than 10 minutes.
So it's not a trailer, but it has probably has more substance than a trailer would have, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Like that thing we watched with Obi-Wan was a little featurette.
Right, little featurette. All right. So any more comments over here you want to hit up?
Let's
It's
see.
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hey, do it in your voice, Shane.
Do what? Say that?
Say it. Long time. Do it in the prime voice.
Okay. A long, long time ago in a galaxy far away.
I love that.
It's like, oh, here's the Dork Knight. So it's like when 13-year-old girls used to get married in medieval times. LOL. About Natalie Portman and that.
I mean, yeah, that was obviously problematic.
Yeah.
But wasn't that? But isn't it Star Wars? No. Star Wars is a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago. So maybe technically that's like medieval times in that galaxy. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Oh, so sorry, Dork Knight, your mom did leave because Brian started talking about genitalia. Just that's probably
That's not why.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You've been talking about, bro. I do the Salty Nerd podcast, and half that show is genitalia. Right? Dork Knight, back me up.
Sorry,
here,
salty nerds. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I enjoy it too. Not enjoy the
I'm just
genitalia.
saying. If I was a mom, I probably wouldn't want to hear that. I'm just saying.
Wait, what are you talking about?
If I'm a mom, I don't want to hear about that.
What talking about?
I don't want to hear about people's junk.
When was I talking about junk?
You don't remember talking about your junk and Jason's junk?
Oh, at the top of the show? Yeah, but she was
top of the show.
She was here way after that.
I'm just messing with you. It's
no,
fine.
Yeah. I don't want to offend anybody.
But it is true. Well, you don't want to offend anybody. You don't talk about how big your thing is.
Oh my God, we're still talking about this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. She's heard way worse, bro. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I tried to defend your mom
again. Yeah, dude,
tried.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she comes to the Salty Nerd show, and it's way worse over there. Like, we're tame. We're tame.
What you're saying is like, she's actually saying really bad things too, right? That's what we're talking about. All right. Oh wait, Hiroshi loves you. When Anakin told her how he just slaughtered all the sand people like animals, including the children, and later she married him. Well said, Hiroshi. Yeah, that's how he manned up, Brian. That's how he went from being a 6-year-old to a man. He killed children and he killed animals.
Wait. That scene still gets me. I laugh. I know you're not supposed to laugh. I laugh so hard though when he comes into the Jedi temple and he's like, Master Anakin,
I know.
Master Anakin, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I know. And then I saw a meme. You know the meme where it's like it shows Anakin saying something to Padme, and then Padme goes, "But you didn't do that, right?" And it shows him smiling. You didn't do that, right? I saw that one with her with them two of the kids.
Yeah, that was messed up.
And there was another one that was like, how many oh yeah. He was talking to there was a meme where he was talking to Obi-Wan. And they're like, if you only have 5 chairs and if you have 5 children and 3 chairs, how many more chairs do you need? She goes, that's easy. You killed 2 children.
That's like, he must have been like, why is he killing the younglings? Like, of all the things to do. I mean, but I got to tell you, you had to make Darth Vader a bad guy, right? You kind of did.
Right.
And so there was really I know people make joke about it, but I guess it kind of had to happen.
Right.
Atheist for the Cause, you guys going into the danger zone May 27th.
The danger zone.
You know, we were trying to go into the danger zone actually on May 24th, but Brian and I could not both get good seats. He's talking about Top Gun too.
Yeah, I recall.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't want to sit in the first row, guys. I just didn't. I didn't want to sit right up against because what did I say? I think I said it's like being punched in the face by a rainbow.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what that,
all
which
movie
was
long.
hilarious. That's a super accurate description of that. 'Cause
It's
that's what
terrible. It's a
I've
terrible
sat in the
experience.
first row and I'm like, what's happening?
It's terrible.
Just the
It's
colors,
terrible.
lots of colors. Yeah, we had a chance to actually see it early, but in order to do so, we would have to sit in the front row, and so we decided not to.
Yeah. So we are going to go see it and we're going to talk about it. And I'm very excited for it, actually. Yeah. I mean, I was a teenager when the first Top Gun came out, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? Die. That's so wrong.
There's something so funny about him killing all the younglings.
It's not funny at all. There's nothing funny about it, but we're laughing at it because there's something wrong with us. I don't know.
And they're called younglings, which is even more.
They're even called younglings, which is just wrong.
Anakin, where are the younglings? I don't know.
Moving on.
Oh man. I was trying to see if we had the gift membership thing yet, so we can give some memberships away, but I can't find it, dude.
We'll do it next week.
Maybe. We don't even know if we're gonna get it next week. We get dude.
When we get it, we're going to give away a membership.
You guys don't know this, but YouTube, we always get everything so slow. Like, we hit the 20,000 mark at some point. We're like, oh, we can finally do community posts. Remember that? And we're like,
Yeah.
technically we should have been able to, because all of our friends that had that number had it. But we waited like 4 months before it popped up. Same with super things, super chats. Like, everything took a long time.
That's true. Okay, so couple last things before we end up. I know we're going to move to the member section here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to give the membership down. Go ahead.
So a couple things I just want to tell you guys. First off, make sure if you guys want to try Liquid IV, you go down and click on the link below.
Oh.
You get 25% off your order when you put in coupon code the Popcast into their little link. Or I think if you just click on it and buy it, you don't even got to put our name in. But 25% off is cool. It's great. Wonderful tasting. Please go get it. The other thing I want to tell you guys is if you want a chance at a $50 gift card to buy whatever you want on mixteas.com, put the date you think we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers on the Popcast Prime channel, the Popcast channel. We're at 96,400 right now. We hit 90,000 March 25th. So if that gives you an idea of when we might hit it, you get 2 days either side. So if you pick June 10th, you got June 8th through June 12th. Whoever gets it, could be multiple winners. We're going to give $50 gift cards. Put it in the comment section below, not in the chat though.
Yeah, and just so you know, the first link in the description is going to take you to the members video, which is where we're going now. That's also the channel that he's referring to, in case you didn't know.
Yes, the members channel.
You can also go to popcast.co/join, and it will forward you to that channel in the members section. All right.
Archmage Frey, Liquid IV could have solved the vitamin deficiency in Strange New Worlds.
All they needed was some Liquid IV, bro. What happened?
Way to pimp that Liquid IV, baby.
You know, it's beautiful. Hella beautiful.
The comments aren't there. You're right, Danny. So we'll just after the video ends, I guess if you're watching live, you can't really put it in there. You know, send us an email. We got you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's it. Listen, that's how you get there. Come on to the members section. The water's warm. I know some of you want to be there, but you can't yet. Hopefully when we get the membership gift thing going, we can start giving them away. But until we do, in order for you to get into the members section, you're going to have to come and be a member. It's very cheap. It's less than a cup of coffee, and you support the show. Legitimately, the reason we're making 3 videos a week right now is because members. We made a decision when members was activated. We said, you know, when we get to a certain membership count, we're going to make more videos. And, you know, as much as I love members coming, I'm worried about that next milestone because I don't know if I can do 4 videos in a week.
It's going to be hard. I mean, right now we're doing 3 and it feels like it's all we're doing. Plus we're doing that. Plus we're doing the live show. Plus we're doing everything else we're doing. So.
But we love it. So come on over. Okay, you guys, again, the link is in the description, or you can go to popcast.co. You know what? And just in case, I always remember that, and I want to use the description. You can get it here, guys. It's in the chat. Come on over to the live show. That is where we're going to finish up. Well, not even finish up. It's like, there's still like, we're going to talk about Amber Heard.
Yep.
And her poo-poo problem with the DC universe.
Her poo-poo problem. It's nothing to do with poop. It's nothing to do with poop.
I did word really good, like Amber Heard just pooed her way out of the DC universe.
You did. Yes.
That was pretty good. We're talking about The Boys season 3 trailer and how sick it is. And then literally 180, just go right to the antithesis of that and talk about She-Hulk and how absolutely horrible it is. Again, link is in the chat. It's also on the screen. And now I bid you adieu.
Adieu. See you guys next week. If you don't come over.
Hey, 1 second, bro. I'm putting you on screen here, okay?
Oh, nice. I get to be. I can't actually control any of the graphics and stuff. Occasionally, I got to tell you guys, sometimes I'm jealous because I don't get to actually like control things. Like I want to come in one day and just be like, all right, everybody, welcome to the Popcast. Today we're going to be doing this. And I've never got to do that. Brian has never once let me do that. Can you believe that? All the years we've been doing this together, I've never got to do it. Let's see who's over here in the chat. The Dork Knight. I'm one of the cool kids now. Yes, you are cool. You are cool. There's Ken. Good to see you, Ken. Nice.
Hold on. I got to defend myself here right now. I'm sorry.
What?
You knew I had to take
you were
that phone
gone.
call, and you were gonna like. I heard you be like, Brian never lets me. What was he saying right now?
I thought you were not available.
Oh, jeez.